So when I was 9, my only sibling, my beautiful sister Vicky, died of cancer at the age of 17. And ever since then, I have gained some strange comfort that perhaps you could understand from the fact that the particular form of cancer that she had remains virtually incurable. And therefore, the consequence of that thinking is that she didn't just miss out on a cure by a year or two. It was always going to be, and still is, a very serious thing to get, and so be it. I've often wondered how I would feel if my sister was sick, really sick, and in fact, just 400 kilometres away, she could be cured. But the only problem was that nobody cared enough to do anything about it. That would be a very different feeling. And every day at our clinic, we see children and adults who, if they were here, would live, and who, but they're there, and so they won't. It's a sort of salutary thing to experience. Where we're working is East Timor. It's 400 kilometres coast to coast from here, from Australia. It's a little further in aviation kilometres from Darwin to Dili. But it's our second closest neighbour. It's a small and beautiful country, 1.2 million people, and 500,000 of those people are children under 15. So they've had a pretty challenging time. In 1975, Indonesia invaded East Timor, and over the next period of occupation, a systematic military genocide occurred, and 200,000 people died, a quarter of their population. And then, though, by miraculous events, a series of events, they actually got the ability to vote on their independence, and did so in '99, and that was fantastic, except the horrific experience of the anger of the Indonesian nation when that occurred. But they got through that. Then, astonishingly, perhaps the most impactful statistic I can tell you so quickly when there's so many to tell you, is that in 2015 they became the 4th hungriest country in the world. So there are 3 hungrier countries in 2015 in Africa, and then the 4th hungriest country in the world is 400 kilometres from our shore. And they're now only the 9th hungriest country in the world, but in fact that has nothing to do with their statistics improving and everything to do with some poor African countries getting even worse. So, well, the statistics of the hunger and the malnutrition are that of the 500,000 children, 250,000 of them are malnourished. Now, that's somewhere between mild to moderate to severe malnourishment. One malnourished child in Australia will make the newspaper. So, they have the highest infant and maternal mortality in the whole of Asia and the Pacific, so that means more mothers and babies are dying than anywhere else in Asia and the Pacific in East Timor. 50% of the population has latent tuberculosis. So that means they have TB, but it hasn't activated. But it can activate at the drop of a hat. And it does on a regular percentage rate per year. The current situation is that the Timorese Ministry of Health budget is $70 million a year, which is 15 cents per day per person, which is not enough to do anything very much. And so East Timor's situation in terms of health is desperate, simply desperate. But they're our second closest neighbour. They're 400 kilometres coast to coast from our shore, and they're never going away. They're just going to be there. 400 kilometres away, always going to be there. So we are, in fact, the only wealthy country near them. And if you look at the analysis, we're a pretty wealthy country. So if they're going to look to anybody for health, where are they going to look? To us. But then on top of that, I have a miraculous, amazing story to tell you, I think, that you probably won't know. And that is that in December 1941, Australian soldiers, Australian strategy was a decision to invade a neutral Portuguese East Timor and land our troops there as a decision to take a stand on their land against the Japanese. By doing so, we drew the Japanese into East Timor. They wouldn't have gone otherwise. It's clear from the history records that we took them there. Then the amazing thing happened is the Timorese helped us enormously to fight this conflict, and we caused havoc. 120 Australian soldiers tied up 15,000 Japanese soldiers. And then a year later the Australians were evacuated, but the consequence of that was the Japanese got very angry and they executed 60,000 East Timorese in retaliation for the assistance they're giving the Australians. Now, that is the single greatest act of mateship that Australia has ever had. No other country has lost 60,000 lives on our behalf, but not only just on our behalf, actually because of us. When we left them, when our guys were removed, we said we would never ever forget them. And yet, did you know that story? So did we forget them? We forgot them. And now, in their desperate hour of need, 400 kilometres coast to coast, they're still desperate, they need our help, and we're forgetting them still. So, but not everybody's forgetting them. So, our charity is the Bairo Pite Clinic, because it's in the suburb of Bairo Pite in Dili, and we're by far the largest community primary healthcare NGO in Timor, East Timor. And we're really busy. We have 2,000 outpatients a month that we see. We have 55 inpatient beds that are always full. We deliver 100 babies a month. And we treat 1/3 of all of the tuberculosis in the country. And we have the busiest TB clinic in the whole of Asia and the Pacific. We treat 80% of the HIV because we do it with compassion and no stigma, and so they choose to come to us. And it's a beautiful place. So we have tonight 2 people here who work in the clinic. Sedalia and Lydia are over there. Hopefully they'll answer some questions later. And they do an incredible job, and they might be able to tell you about what they do. Sedalia looks after female patients with special problems, and Lydia is our malnutrition girl. So tonight, what do we want to ask you about, whether you can help us? We've got a lot of malnourished children in Timor. They're malnourished for many reasons, but the numbers can be astonishing at the time, and Lydia's come over here, but she's torn by the fact that she just had many admissions when she left. The clinic she runs is meant to be the best in Timor, according to a professor of paediatrics who's visiting there. But the problem is that we've only got enough capacity to treat those who come to us, and passively. And we're sick of waiting for the children to be so sick before they come to us. So we want to go and find them and intervene earlier, but what that will require from us, is more capacity. We have 6 beds, 6 children, but if the malnutrition strikes, when the hungry season gets longer and the rainy season brings diarrhea and the children are weaned and they get malnourished, we can put 4 babies across 1 bed, 24 babies on 6 beds, and then we can go into another ward. But what do we want? We need some money for a doctor for malnutrition for $10,000 a year. And we need a healthcare worker to go and find the children before they're so sick and present themselves to us. We need to create more space and a better space to treat them in. An extended refurbished children's malnutrition ward will cost $30,000. And we need to pay for the extra staff that we need to treat them. 3 nurses. To get 1 nurse, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, we need 3 nurses. To get the 1, that's $18,000. And we need to pay for the special foods that we need to give them for $8,000. And that adds up to $70,000. But the impact we will make on so many children's lives will be enormous. At the same time, we have to raise 80,000 Australian dollars to run the clinic every month. So we can't afford to do that extension of malnutrition care, but we're desperate to do it. So we're asking tonight that hopefully this extra money for severely malnourished children might somehow be found, not by us, but by you tonight, and that would be a miracle.